And as an art material, in fact, that has inspired me to play around and experiment with different types of materials. And you know what I've discovered? A brilliant new way of using this stuff, ordinary table salt. First, you need to wet a piece of paper or thin card and just splosh it on using a nice big brush so you can cover it quickly. Then, when it's nice and wet, it's time to add a splash of colour. Take some light blue watercolour and wash it over the wet paper. Now, you could use watered down poster or powder paint for this. Just make sure that it's nice and wishy-washy. Then splash in some nice, strong, abstract blotches of colour about halfway down the paper. Now I'm starting with red, just flick it on like this, and it goes. And how's about some orange? That's a good strong colour. Again, flicking it in between the reds. And finally, maybe a bit of yellow. And it goes, again, halfway down the paper, just finding the gaps. And again, these paints are nice and watery. And these blotches will eventually become exotic coral on a tropical seabed, believe it or not. Next, add vivid blue and greens to the bottom of your picture. And this will be the seabed. Then, while the paints are still wet, take your salt and gently sprinkle it onto the picture. Just sprinkle it nice and randomly. But be careful, you don't want to put too much on, don't clog it up. Then just let the paint dry. And when the paint is dry, you'll end up with something like this one. Now the best bit. You need to gently shake off the salt. So here goes. There you go. Look at that. And as you can see, where the salt has settled on the picture, it's reacted with the paint, and as if by magic, it's turned the paint into a tropical coral effect. Now, it looks great like this, but you can use this as a sort of backdrop to paint on more detail. Just check these out. On this one, I've painted some tropical fish swimming around in the coral. And this effect is good for other kinds of pictures too. Look at this, a snowy landscape done with different types of blue. Or even a woodland scene in autumn.